I guarantee you see these logos every single day. You see them on your coffee cups, on the cars that you dream of owning, and the clothes that you wear. But these aren't just symbols. They are silent tombstones, mythical warnings, and haunting reminders of a dark past. Today, we're exposing the insane stories that brands try to hide forever. What if I told you that the friendly face on your coffee is linked to a creature that lures men to their doom? Or that an iconic car symbol has ties to a brutal war? By the end of this video, you'll never see these brands the same way again. Every logo has a story, but not all of them are the kind that a company would want you to know. While most brands want symbols of trust and happiness, others have origins in something way more sinister. We're not talking about simple design choices, we're talking about real-world deaths, terrifying legends, and historical events that change lives forever. When you see the Versace Medusa head, you instantly think of luxury, opulence, and high fashion. It's an emblem of power. But the story behind this iconic logo isn't one of glamour, it's a tale of tragedy, betrayal, and a curse so powerful, it could turn men to stone. The woman at the center of the Versace brand is Medusa, one of the three Gorgon sisters from Greek mythology. And her story is one of profound suffering. According to the myth, Medusa was once a breathtakingly beautiful maiden, but her beauty caught the eye of Poseidon, the god of the sea, who assaulted her inside the sacred temple of Athena. But here's the crazy part. Instead of punishing Poseidon, a furious Athena took her revenge on Medusa. She cursed the innocent priestess, transforming her beautiful hair into a writhing nest of snakes, and giving her a gaze so horrifying it would turn anyone who looked at her to stone. Medusa, once admired, was now a monster forced into exile. Eventually, she was slain by the hero Perseus, who beheaded her using the reflection in his shield to avoid her stare. So why would Gianni Versace, the brand's founder, choose such a tragic and monstrous figure? Versace grew up in a region of Italy rich with ancient Greek ruins and played along mosaics of Medusa as a child. He wasn't interested in her monstrosity, he was captivated by her power. Before she was cursed, Medusa could make people fall hopelessly in love with her. Gianni Versace saw a parallel. He wanted his designs to have that same hypnotic, inescapable allure to captivate people so completely that they couldn't look away. The logo isn't just about beauty, it's a symbol of seduction and danger. A promise that once you fall for Versace, there's no turning back. The Ferrari prancing horse is one of the most famous logos in the world. It's a symbol of speed, wealth, and pure power. But that horse didn't come from a marketing meeting. It came from the fuselage of a World War I fighter plane, and its story is one of a national hero who was killed in action. The horse was the personal emblem of Count Francesco Baracca, Italy's top fighter ace of the First World War. He was a legendary pilot, credited with 34 aerial victories and celebrated as a national hero. Baracca painted the black prancing horse on the side of his plane. His reign, however, was tragically cut short. On June 19, 1918, Baracca was flying a mission when his plane was shot down in flames. At just 30 years old, Italy's greatest ace was gone. 5 years later, a young race car driver named Enzo Ferrari won a race. After his victory, he met the parents of the fallen hero. It was Countess Paolina who made a fateful suggestion. She told Enzo Ferrari, "Put my son's prancing horse on your cars. It will bring you good luck." Enzo Ferrari honored her request. He kept the horse black just as it was on Baracca's plane, but added a canary yellow background, the color of his birthplace, Modena. The symbol first appeared on his cars in 1932, and the luck of the fallen ace seemed to work. Ferrari won that race, and the prancing horse became a permanent fixture, a tribute to a pilot's valor and a mother's wish. Every time you see that iconic logo, you're not just looking at a car brand, you're looking at a piece of wartime history. It's on literally every single street corner in the world. The green circle with the mysterious woman at its center. The Starbucks logo is one of the most recognizable symbols on the planet. But almost no one knows her dark and deadly secret. She isn't a queen or a mermaid. She's a siren, a creature from Greek mythology whose beautiful song lured sailors to their deaths. When Starbucks was founded in Seattle in 1971, the creators wanted a logo that captured the city's maritime history. While looking through old maritime books, a designer found a 16th century Norse woodcut of a twin-tailed siren. This was it. In ancient myths, sirens were dangerous creatures who would sing a song so irresistible that any sailor who heard it would crash his ship on the rocks and drown. The founders thought that this was the perfect metaphor. They wanted their coffee to be just as irresistible. The original 1971 logo had much more explicit and unsettling tones. It was brown and featured the full-bodied, bare-breasted Siren with her two tails split wide. It was directly based on the old woodcut, and it caused some controversy. The newer change was needed. In 1987, the logo was redesigned, and the Siren's breasts were covered by her hair, and the color was changed from brown to a more optimistic green. Over the years, the design has been simplified even further, zooming in on her face. But the core of her identity remains. That woman on your cup is a predator. She represents a fatal attraction, a beautiful danger that promises pleasure, but is rooted in doom. Each coffee is a call from a creature designed to pull you in and never let you go. The deep green bottle of Jägermeister with stag head logo in Gothic font has an aura of mystery. The name itself translates to Hunt Master, and the iconic logo of a stag with a glowing cross between its antlers isn't just branding, it's a direct depiction of a chilling, life-altering vision. The story comes from the legend of Saint Hubertus, who lived in the 7th century. Hubert was a nobleman and a ruthless hunter. The legend says that on one Good Friday morning, a holy day when he should have been in church, Hubert was out hunting. He was chasing a magnificent stag when the animal suddenly stopped and turned to face him. Hubert was stunned to see a glowing crucifix appearing between the stag's antlers. Then he heard a divine voice speak to him, warning him, "Hubert, unless thou turnest to the Lord and leadest a holy life, thou shalt quickly go down into hell." Terrified, Hubert fell to his knees and dedicated his life to God, eventually becoming a bishop. He later became the patron saint of hunters, a symbol of a man who found redemption after being confronted by the divine. When Kurt Mast created Jägermeister in 1934, he was himself an avid hunter. He chose the name Huntmaster and adopted the symbol of Saint Hubertus' vision. It represents not just the hunt, but a moment of profound, terrifying revelation, a reckoning where the hunter becomes the humble. The label is a constant reminder of that supernatural encounter. The Nike Swoosh. It's more than a logo, it's a cultural phenomenon. You'd assume it was the product of a massive ad agency and a multi-million-dollar budget. But the crazy truth is that one of the most valuable logos in history was designed by a broke college student for just $35. The story begins in 1971, where Phil Knight, the co-founder of Nike, was then an accounting instructor at Portland State University. He was about to launch his own line of shoes and desperately needed a logo. Knight had previously met a graphic design student named Carolyn Davidson who was looking for some extra money to pay for oil painting classes. Knight approached Davidson with an assignment: create a logo that conveyed motion. She spent about 17 and a half hours sketching and eventually presented Knight with a handful of different designs. None of them blew him away though. On a tight deadline, he pointed to one, a simple fluid checkmark shape, and said, "I don't love it, but it will grow on me." That design was the swoosh. Meant to look like a wing, it was a nod to Nike, the Greek goddess of victory. Davidson submitted her invoice for 17 and a half hours of work, but the total came to $35. She handed over a logo that would one day be worth billions. I'm not kidding, for years that was all she received. But as the company exploded, they knew that they owed her more. In 1983, Knight invited Davidson to a surprise company reception. There he presented her with a gold and diamond ring shaped like the swoosh, and an envelope containing 500 shares of Nike stock. Those shares are now worth millions. It's a story with a happy ending, but it's a stark reminder that one of the most powerful symbols in history began with a student trying to make rent. The Chupa Chups logo is pure, simple fun. A bright, cheerful daisy with a catchy name in the middle. But this isn't just any logo. It's a piece of modern art, doodled on a newspaper in less than an hour by one of the most eccentric and brilliant artists of the 20th century, Salvador Dali. In 1969, Enrique Bernat, the founder of Chupa Chups, was having coffee with his friend, the world-famous Surrealist painter Salvador Dali. Bernat was complaining that his branding just wasn't right. Dali, in his typical flamboyant fashion, declared that he could solve the problem right then and there. He grabbed a newspaper and began to sketch. In what some say was less than an hour, the master of melting clocks had created a new vision for the lollipop. He took the name Chupa Chups and encased it within a simple, bold daisy shape. But Dali's genius wasn't just in the drawing, it was in the strategy. He made one crucial suggestion. The logo must be placed directly on top of the lollipop, not on the side. This way the daisy would always be perfectly visible. It was a revolutionary idea. By putting the logo front and center, he ensured it would become part of the experience. But it not immediately implemented the changes, and the brand's success skyrocketed. It's a surreal thought. Every time you unwrap a Chupa Chups, you're holding a tiny, mass-produced masterpiece from the mind of a genius. From the tragic gaze of a cursed Gorgon on a luxury handbag to the ghost of a fallen war hero on a supercar, the logos we see every day are more than just corporate branding. They are vessels of history, mythology, and sometimes profound tragedy. Their stories are a masterclass in hidden meanings. Versace chose Medusa for her deadly, inescapable allure. Ferrari's prancing horse is a tribute to her mother's grief and her son's bravery. And the friendly woman on your Starbucks cup is a predator, a perfect metaphor for our addiction to her brew. These brands have woven tales of death, magic, and dark history into their very identity. They prove that even on the most ordinary store shelf, you can find a connection to an extraordinary and often macabre past. You will never look at them the same way again. Which of these stories shocked you the most? Is there a company whose logo holds an even crazier secret? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed uncovering these hidden truths, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the stories that you were never meant to know. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss our next video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
For more trending brand news, subscribe to our channel and visit designrush.com.